What's crackling, everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list, where each episode we take a cereal, put it on the tier list, so you know how good it is. I'm your host, Tucker. In this episode, we're doing our last of the biscuit Kashi cereals with Berry Fruitful. Now, previously, we've done the other biscuit-style Kashi cereals, and those were the Autumn Wheat, Cinnamon Harvest, Island Vanilla, and Dark Cocoa Karma, all of which were a D. A couple of them almost got C, but none of them quite worked out well enough to do that. So maybe this one, being a bit different, will. This one is sort of like how there was the Frosted Mini Wheats filled mixed berry, I think it was what it was called. This is Berry Fruitful, so same sort of idea where it's just some berry paste in the middle of the piece, which has been sort of, I found, a weaker taste on the flavor versus something like Autumn Wheat. I keep saying it did this. I'm not like 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it seemed like the flavoring and the wheat were sort of made together, so it just slid in there. So this won't be like that, but maybe because it is a much more distinct berry object, it'll work a bit better. But let's just open it up, find out for sure. Oh, and I guess worth noting, I did take a look at, what berries are going to be in here. And the first fruit noted, grape juice. Okay, I guess in this case that's a berry. Apple powder, again, not really sure that's a berry. Red raspberry, okay, I'll give you that. And strawberry. So a few unique ones there. I don't know if we've had a ton of grape flavor and stuff, but I'm glad I saw that beforehand instead of just being like surprised. Oh, I guess I would have smelled it. It does seem to be. It's giving off a jam vibe, for sure. But for a second there, I thought I was getting a lot more grape. So maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe I wouldn't have noticed. All right. Again. Looks pretty similar to the other Kashi biscuits. Not a huge difference. Hopefully one of them is like busted somewhere so we can get a view in at the fruit filling. Well, we'll see, I guess. Okay, here we go. Okay. So originally, I wasn't really noticing much of the berry filling flavor, but then it definitely picked up, and it's a bit more tart, I think, than sort of like the Frosted Mini Wheat berry was. But it's not too bad. It's definitely kind of weird because I still have that tartness in my mouth right now. So that's sort of a uncommon thing for cereal. But I don't hate it. I wasn't noticing any pieces that distinctly showed the filling, so bit one in half, and you can see pretty much exactly like what it shows. It's a little bit fully encased by the wheat, so pretty straightforward there. I think because it's not just sort of a glaze almost like the other flavorings have, it seems to still be present as I'm going through. Like, we have not hit full solidification yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if the flavor here lasted a bit longer. An unexpected visual difference with this one is there are some pieces, like this one, I don't know how clearly you can see this, where you can see the filling like starting to leak through as the pieces like getting all soft, so you can like really tell, oh yeah, it's in the middle there that the berry stuff is. Which again, I think because the others were just sort of that like glaze of, oh, here's some sugar or whatever, that didn't really happen. But here, it's some jam, so it's a bit more visible. It's just kind of interesting. The milk still seems to have like a milk color, but let's see if there's any taste difference going on. There's a small enough hint of it where I can't tell if I just still have some of that tart aftertaste or if it's really just the milk. I think it's very lightly in there, but not a huge amount. And again, it could just be residual taste from the pieces themselves. So it's either slightly berry or it's just milk. Those are your options. I cannot tell for certain. Overall, I think Berry Fruitful turned out to be very average. So I didn't expect Berry Fruitful to be as drastically different from the other Kashi biscuit cereals as Filled Mixed Berry was from the other Frosted Mini Wheat cereals. So I think that was the right mindset to go into this with. So I just say that because I think this still manages to be kind of in line with the other biscuits that Kashi has done, because again, a lot of them do just have the flavor on the inside. So even though this is like a new like berry like sort of jam going on, and that part is pretty different, overall the sort of construction of the piece isn't too different. So it seems more just like a flavor change than a true like change up of the cereal. I did think the flavor of the berry filling was different though. So even though in the Kashi biscuits, I don't think it was a huge change, comparing it to other berry and like sort of fruity stuff we've done before, I think this is a bit more unique, just again because of that like bit of tartness it brought, whereas normally a lot of cereals obviously go for a bit more sweet, and this was sweet, but you know, it's just that like slight difference that does help it, at least compared to those, stand out a little. So what I'm going to do is give Kashi Berry Fruitful a D. Probably saw that coming, same rank as all the other Kashi biscuits, but I think it is still pretty in line with them overall. It did last longer, and I appreciated that the flavor was sort of there the whole time because it is that sort of jam, so just, you know, crystals and filling. So that was good. Fan of that, but I think actual flavor-wise, I still prefer something like the autumn wheat or the very minimal vanilla bean taste you're getting in Island Vanilla. But I do appreciate that all the others were just like vanilla, chocolate, cinnamon, and this was berry. So I appreciate that it's different, and I appreciate the fact that it had like grape in there, which we haven't seen before, and it wasn't like a standout to like really off-put the berry flavor, so that was good, but I still just appreciate the fact that there was grape involved, you know? That's not really a berry, but I'm glad they counted it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you tried Kashi Berry Fruitful. If you thought the jam flavor really worked well, you love those berries, you can let me know. Or if, like me, you thought, yeah, solid, just not really knocking it out of the park, and you know, there's just something about these Kashi biscuit cereals that don't quite hit that C range, you can agree with me as well in the comments. Also, feel free in the comments to rank your favorite berry between raspberry, strawberry, apple, and grape, the two famous berries. But until next time, stay delicious.